Hello everyone.
Hi, hello. Nice to see you.
Same here. I'm Pratima Shah. I'm a soft skill trainer and an NLP healer. I recently learned NLP in the month of December, and after that I have been practicing over it. And the topic on which I'm going to deliver a talk today is trauma and NLP. Now, as you all are very much aware, you all must be knowing what is trauma. Can anyone just tell me what is trauma?
Trauma can be anything. It can be a traumatic marriage also.
Yes, it can be a traumatic marriage also.
Sudden change in the circumstances.
Sudden change in the circumstances. Yeah.
Which is not expected.
Which is not expected. Any sudden change in the circumstances which is not expected by any person, that can be also termed as trauma. And as we see this image here, trauma revolves around all these things. It can be drug abuse, anxiety, then it can be women flashbacks, then it could be insomnia, PTSD syndromes, etc. But the definition of trauma, if we go to it, it's a strong, persistent, negative emotional response to a past event or reminders of that event in the life of a person. The causes of trauma are unwanted past painful memories. They could be in the form of physical or verbal abuse. It could be guilt in the mind of a person. It could even be failures in their life. It could be the trauma related to wars. It could be terrorism. It could even be death of someone in the family, near and dear one. It could be unhealthy relationships, etc. It could be unhealthy relationship with a father. It could be unhealthy relationship with a spouse or whatever. So any sort of such things results in a trauma, and it is the thing which we call trauma is a strong emotion, as well as it's persistent and negative in the life of the person. The response of that person towards it is very negative. Now, coming towards the topic, can anyone tell me how is trauma caused? What causes trauma? Where do all these feelings come from?
It's the interpretation of the individual to the event that has happened, which results in.
Yes, the interpretation of the individual to the thing that has happened.
It also depends. You see, this is something like every mind is different.
Yeah, every mind is different.
So one weak minded will call it trauma, but a very strong-headed person will say, "Oh, ho gaya."
Yes.
So everything depends. Basically, everything is in your mind.
Yes, basically everything is in the mind, and NLP very firmly believes.
What was the NLP stand for?
Yeah, I'll come to that. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, neuro related to the mind, linguistic related to the language which we use, programming related to the actions or a set of things which we are going to do for a particular thing.
Like counseling.
Like counseling, or it could be like our mind is like a software, and we give it directions that we have to do this way, that way. We go in a situation for if we want to go from our home to the office, then we have a set of things how we are going. First we wake up, dress up. If we go by car, then we go accordingly. So that is a set of directions which we follow, a sort of software programming which we do in computers, but here we program our mind. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, and NLP firmly believes that everything is related to the mind. So because our mind has different kinds of states, and what people have many kinds of thoughts coming in a day. You are sitting here, even at present you may have thousands of thoughts coming to your mind. Just on seeing a particular image, just on seeing a particular person, or you are just sitting and thinking, many thoughts may be coming to our mind. Now based on all these thoughts which come to our mind, it is not necessary that we remember all the thoughts. The mind does not remember all the thoughts. So sometimes it happens that some of the thoughts are deleted by us, some are distorted by us as per our wish, and some are generalized by us. So NLP has this thing that the thoughts which come in our mind, they are either deleted by the persons, either distorted the way they want, or they are generalized in the way either society wants to use it or the way the person wants to use it. Now all these things, the thoughts which come to our mind, we are perceiving them by different methods, and according to NLP we perceive the things by our five senses. First is the way we see. The way we see, that is everything whatever we see, that is visions. Second is whatever we hear, that is all the auditory signals. Third is all the feelings which we have. It's cold, then we feel that it's cold. If it's hot, then also our body feels that it's hot. So that is kinesthesia. Okay. Then fourth is whatever we smell, that is olfactory signals. And fifth is whatever we taste, that is gustatory signals. So all this, the vision, the audios, the kinesthetic feelings which we have, the olfactory things and the gustatory things, all this form our all these are our five senses, and all this form our thoughts. These are the way we perceive the events in our day-to-day life. Now based on all these things which we see, hear, feel, smell and whatever we taste, we form our beliefs. Our belief system is based on these five senses of our body. Now our beliefs are of two types. One is first is the universal truth, second is generalization. Is there any difference between these, universal truth and generalization? Can you cite an example? Universal truth and generalization?
Universal truths, you say something
Universal means now
cannot be changed. Like the sun is
Crow is a black bird.
Yeah, the sun sun rises in the east. That's a universal truth. An example, same for everybody. Yeah. And generalization?
Generalization is subject to, madam, is subject to change.
Yeah.
Like your customs, your dress. What is good today might be obsolete tomorrow. So we only generalize, but for the time being we are okay.
Okay, as per the prevalent scenario today, I can give you a generalization like it. But the latest generalization which has changed, that it is compulsory for a woman to marry. That was a generalization. Yeah, it was a generalization in our Indian society. But today the scenario has changed. Today women even prefer to be single. They prefer to give priority to their careers. And so that's
a very small percentage even today.
Yeah, it's a small percentage. It's a small percentage, but the scenario has changed. That we can say. Now, based on that, what I told you, that we delete, distort or generalize. On this we create our own inner representation. Inner representation means our own thoughts. This inner representation can even be called our subjective experiences, or the internal map of our mind, or the subconscious imprints which are in our mind. Because NLP says that there are two boxes in our mind. One is the conscious, second is the subconscious, and subconscious is the reservoir of all the feelings, emotions, negative states and everything, because everything is lying in the subconscious mind. This imprints build our state, the state of our mind, and the state of our mind could be either positive or negative. When we are in a positive state, we witness good emotions like happiness, confidence, concentration, creativity, joy, well-being. We feel relaxed. So that is the positive state of our mind. Negative state witnesses emotions like sadness, illness, fear, failure, lack of confidence, depression, stress, anxiety, confusion. So that way there is a variety, there is a difference in the emotions. Now NLP even calls the positive state as a state of resolved issues. Resolved issues means when we are happy, when we are content, when we are relaxed, we have no issues in our mind. We are happy, we are free from any sort of issues, so we call it as a state of resolved issues. And the negative state is called a state of unresolved issues, because there are many things which are lying in the mind and they are unresolved. So a person feels fear, a person feels depressed, a person feels stressful, a person is anxious, worried. All these things happen due to the unresolved issues in the mind of the person. And thus we can say that our state is formed by the events which we keep on storing in our mind. Now, how can a person get traumatic? The thing is, what causes the trauma? So, any event in which a person experiences or witnesses actual or threatened death, serious injury or sexual violence has the potential to make a person traumatic. So, and it could be anything. For example, death of a parent in the life of a child. So, that is the event which makes the child traumatic, because it's a thing which the child had never ever dreamt of, and it has come all of a sudden and struck the child like a catastrophe. So, that thing, it is very much bound to make the child feel traumatic, and because the child is totally shaken off by that event. So, it slowly and gradually gets into fear, stress, worry. It comes step by step, and if there is no one to take care of the child, it could lead the child towards a trauma. These events emotionally affect the person. Any event which is like that, they are emotionally affecting the person. People with traumatic experiences respond in different ways. All the persons who have witnessed a trauma, they have a different way of expressing themselves. Some are very much silent. They just become very silent. They are not at all expressive. Some are very anxious. Anything you tell them, they just get into an anxiety mode. Some people, they just lose their temper. Even for a minutest thing, they will lose their temper. They don't know how to react. So, the way of expression is very different, and it varies from person to person. But through the support of family and friends, most people recover easily. And sometimes it even happens that if there is no family and friends, then it could be devastating in the life of the person. It is not good for that person, because that person has no share of love, the person has no share of support in his or her life.
There are counselors for them.
Yeah, they are counselors for them. Now, coming towards the character, sorry?
Right.
Okay, yeah. Now, coming towards the characteristics of trauma, the first characteristic is a trauma is not an experience. It is an emotional response to an experience, as said by Sir here. The way the individual reacts to that. So, it's a reaction, it's an emotional response which you give to that particular event. Now, if the emotional response is positive towards that particular event, then it's not called a traumatic event. But it is, even though the experience is harrowing means it's disturbing or it's distressing for the person, but the person is that much motivated enough, positive enough inside his own mind, inside his own feelings and thoughts, then it does not become a traumatic experience for that person. For example, you can see today people go for skydiving. All these things people do, right? As such, they spend lot of money for it. Why do they do it? Excitement, right? Thrilled. If they feel it's a positive thing for them. And if by bad luck that incident proves to be fatal for them, it proves to be in a way that, yeah, if there is an accident, then it's a traumatic event for that person. Then that person would even advise others that never go for this thing, it is dangerous. Till then, it is nothing dangerous for that person. That person takes it in a very excited mode. Second is, traumas are learned via repetition and exaggeration of sensory stimuli. Immediately after a negative incident, the person isn't traumatized yet, but the trauma gets into the psyche of the person by all the attitudes or by the reactions of the people around the person. For example, a child who has been raped, a small child of 10-year-old who has been raped, she doesn't know the meaning of that particular thing. She has been raped, but the society around creates such a havoc by all the talks and all that the child keeps on becoming more and more fearful, keeps on just thinking over it, and thus that reaction gets traumatic. The reaction is negative from the child, and then it becomes a trauma. So that way, if there is a positive reaction, it's not going to hamper in the growth of the child, in the psychology of the child. So we can say that people also play a role in that for making it a trauma or not. Then traumas range from very minor to major and from contextualized to general. For instance, a person who is having phobia of cockroaches may not be fearful of all insects, right? He has just a fear of that particular insect called cockroach, not all the insects. So that way we can say that it is ranging from a major or from a minor to a major and contextualized to general. Similarly, someone with severe PTSD. Anyone knows what is PTSD?
Something which
Post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. So that also, someone who is having post-traumatic stress disorder, it could be if the symptoms are very severe, that person is always in distress. That person is never in joy. That person always feels a sort of distress in the life. And thus, whenever the person feels like this, there is no motivation to move forward in life. Yeah, he continuously keeps on thinking over such thoughts. He has that much negativity that he is unable to come out of that situation.
So there is no alternative to improve this situation.
Yeah, it can be possible through counseling. It can even be possible through NLP healing. It's very much possible to change the state of the person. Yes.
You're right. You're counseling. Sometimes, from my experience, I got over from myself.
Yeah, self-motivation is the biggest thing. It's very necessary that we be self-motivated.
Because I think your mind, I control my mind and I got over it.
Yeah.
I didn't consult anybody or
But there are very rare persons who don't need the help of healers or they are very.
Saying is that what you think you become.
Yeah, what you think you become.
That means you're allowing the failures to dominate your
Yes, absolutely. That is only the thing. And the last characteristic is causes of psychological trauma vary. They are different from person to person, even different as per the age and the situation. For example, the trauma of an adult is very different to the trauma of a child, right? The child may even forget it after a particular gap of years. If given lot of love, support, care, counseling and positive environment, the child may forget it. But an adult may even develop symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. So that also happens. And normally it happens today, we see the scenario is that people have such symptoms of PTSD. Many people are facing these problems. Now, as we have discussed the characteristics, we have discussed the mind and its state. Do you feel that a person faces any challenges during trauma or after trauma?
of course,
What kind of challenges? Public challenges. Okay, yeah, public challenges.
That's the worst thing, especially we Indians.
Yeah,
You know what, madam, I hate this, I hate our Indians. If a lady is not married, why are you not married? Why are you not something wrong with you?
also society
If a lady has no children, why have you no children? All this is stupidity.
But nobody comes and helps.
In Europe and America, people don't bother.
People don't bother, yeah.
They are busy with many things. No?
But
our society rules have said morally there are no seats.
सबसे बड़ा रोग
क्या कहेंगे लोग? Yes, सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग?
This is madness.
But then you can say कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना. छोड़ो बेकार की बातें.
We don't know. I've seen, I know how a childless couple feels. So, on top of that, people are pressurizing. क्यों नहीं बच्चा हो? क्यों नहीं बच्चा हो?
Yeah.
So physical defects are sometimes
So
problematic.
you don't, you believe in the same, you agree that the topic is right. Who are you to say?
Okay. So people face many challenges, right? But the initial stage, initially whatever the person experiences whenever a person is traumatic, the initial feelings are of fear, sadness, sometimes guilt, sometimes anger of not being able to do something, or sometimes grief if it's the death of someone very near and dear. So these are the initial feelings which swell up in the person, but with realization of what has happened, slowly and gradually the feelings vanish and the person starts getting back to normal. There are also chances of mental health issues like PTSD. Sometimes people even may have anxiety, depression. People may take the help of alcohol. Some may even resort to drugs. So this also happens. The relationship with family, friends, relation at work, all these things are totally hampered. When a person is in trauma, cannot work with full concentration, makes many mistakes. With family, friends, there is a irritated behavior, does not like to meet people, does not like to socialize. So that also hampers. It's a big challenge when you don't socialize and you just remain confined to your room or to your own shell. You're not going out and seeking any sort of assistance. That is what a person has to do. Just get out of that feeling, get out of that particular area and go and meet. But it is not happening that easily in our society.
Even if you try also, you meet the wrong people.
Yeah, even if we try, sometimes it happens. We meet the wrong people. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Then there is loss of confidence in life. The person totally, the confidence gets shattered. Confidence gets shattered. There's lack of self-esteem also. So that also hampers the growth. There's an abrupt end to life because now the person cannot think anything beyond that pain, anything beyond that situation. He's just stuck in that particular situation. Fearful and anxious about the future. So, as the person is fearful and anxious, he or she feels incompetent and incomplete because there is nothing that the person feels that I can do or I am in a state to do. So, that way the person feels incompetent also and incomplete also. The person even has difficulty in visualizing the future because so much stuck in his own thoughts, in his own traumatic things, so much stuck in his own negative emotions that the person cannot visualize the future, and hence the person doesn't see any positive outcome of life, doesn't feel that now there is anything good left to do in life. So the person is stuck in that particular situation. Yes, totally negative situation. See, I have been talking about PTSD, no? So these are the symptoms of PTSD. Person may get nightmares.
You have not mentioned one thing.
Yes, sir.
Suicidal tendency.
Yeah, it's there only. Everything must be there. And it's nightmares, guilt, intrusive memories, poor judgment, survivor guilt, flashbacks, insomnia, anxiety, avoidance, startle response, loss of motivation, lack of feelings, poor self-esteem, negative self-image, hypervigilance, then poor concentration, short-term memory loss, helplessness, depression, hopelessness, apathy, ulcers, arthritis, physical pain, mistrust, communication problems, stress, isolation, rage, irritability, frustration and suicidal tendencies. So that way, these are all the various symptoms.
You are born in very deep, I think. So complete all this.
Some are diseases.
Yeah, some are diseases also. Diseases are also caused by our negativity.
70% of the modern doctors, who are really honest, they say, they themselves say 70% are psychosomatic.
Yeah, 70% of the diseases are psychosomatic, and psychosomatic diseases, they take lot of time to recover also.
Medicine will not cure.
Medicine will not cure you, absolutely. Medicine
And
does not cure you.
another question, suppose somebody has any one of these, he is not uh, just anyone. Does it mean that he is in stress? It should be more than one or more.
It could be some problem the person is facing.
Among the list.
Among the list, if any of this.
You say you should not even have one of this.
No, not necessary. It could be that it could be even through the daily life things also something is going on in the mind. For example, is the daughter's marriage of a particular parent, right? So the father keeps on thinking about it. So that is overthinking. Why the father overthinks? Because the father wants to do the best for the daughter. So that overthinking cannot be called as a PTSD syndrome. That is the overthink for positive outcome for the daughter's marriage. So many of this, for example, even I myself may be having many, but it could be in a positive way. Here what we relate to PTSD syndromes, they are in a negative way. When you harm yourself, when you don't do anything fruitful for your life, when you don't want to get out of the situation.
Will be in a shades combination.
Yes, they all would be in a, they all would be in shades or combination with some.
That's what I meant. Is it a combination?
It is a combination.
It's a combination, yeah. Now coming to the main topic, that how can NLP heal trauma? So as somebody asked, what is NLP? I'll tell you, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro relates to our mind or our brain. Linguistic is a language which we are using, and programming means the way we program our mind for doing a particular task or for working for a particular event. It's a projecting or a type of how we give commands to a software on computer. Same way we give commands to our mind. Now NLP is a theory which helps to bring a change in the minds of a person by changing the VAK. VAK is the visuals which we perceive. Whatever we see, that is visuals. A is the audio, whatever we hear. K is kinesthesia, whatever we feel, right? So that way we can change, and NLP very firmly believes that it is very easy to change the VAK in such cases. In some cases it is possible that you may take a little longer time, but NLP has a cure for all these symptoms. NLP is even a study of human communication. It's a study of the structure of subjective experiences. The subjective experience of any person can be studied through NLP. It is a way of modeling excellence. NLP has many techniques through which you can lead yourself to excellence. For example, the one which I experienced by Mr. Ram Verma when I was doing the course, that was a circle of excellence. So that technique also helps a very much whenever you want, when you feel fearful about something, you are doing something new and you are apprehensive about it, whether you will be able to complete it properly or not. So that technique, even now whenever I feel some fear, I do that technique myself. So it gives you a sort of confidence. Then NLP has the ability to make a person at his or her best. It can take you to your best. It can lead you to your best by helping you through the various techniques, and there are number of techniques in NLP which can cure many diseases also. NLP is a powerful and practical approach to personal change. It helps a lot in bringing personal change. It helps you a lot in controlling yourself. It helps you a lot in keeping your thoughts also in control. So that is NLP.
What is kinesthesia?
Kinesthesia means whatever we feeling. For example, a mosquito bites you, you will feel that something has bitten me. So that is kinesthesia.
On a positive note, if you hug somebody also.
Yeah, that is a positive kinesthesia.
So nice to
You
hug.
slap somebody, that's a negative kinesthesia.
Hug a day can keep the doctor away.
Yes, a hug a day can keep a doctor away.
And that's very lucky. Ladies hug more.
Yeah. Now the technique which I am going to tell you all is the technique of reprinting. This technique is called the technique of subconscious re-imprinting, and the objective of this technique is to dissociate the person from past painful memories that are lying in the unconscious mind as garbage and are the cause of the trauma or various emotional and physical issues. So I need somebody. Can somebody come if I want to perform the technique on someone? Does anyone have any such event which you want to forget? You want? Okay. You don't? Doesn't matter. Acha. Okay. You want to come?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can come.
And event which I want to forget.
Which you want to forget? You can take a chair. No, but you can. It will take time. It will take time.
Madam, why are you standing? You can also.
No, I'm okay. I love to stand and teach. Okay. What's your name? Zakir. Okay. Mr. Zakir, is there any event which you feel is a past painful memory?
Yeah, of course. When I lost my mother, I feel very sad.
Okay.
Or sometimes you meet some people, they because of jealousy they try to put you down.
Acha. Okay.
Yeah, this is,
So
I've
now.
seen too much of this.
Acha. Haan. So now, are you comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. So sit comfortably, relaxed with your torso and shoulders erect. Yeah. Keep your shoulders erect. Haan.
Yes.
Yes, sir?
Yeah. Haan. No, go little at the back. You can be relaxed. Okay. Now imagine. You can close your eyes if you want. Imagine that there is a transparent glass wall before you at a fair distance. Are you able to imagine? Are you able to visualize?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Relax, no? Yeah. Now beyond that glass wall, there is a wooden stool. Did it come to your image?
Yeah.
Okay. Now on this stool, I have put a TV set, right? And I am giving the remote control of the TV set in your hands.
Then I'll switch on the TV and I'll see.
No. You relax, don't worry. No, I am not going to do anything to you, don't worry. I'll go slow. So only I am giving you time. So you be relaxed. So now, beyond the transparent glass wall, which is at a fair distance, there is a TV and the remote of that TV is in your hand, right? Now just imagine by sitting here, you press the remote and watch that painful event which you want to remove for 4 to 5 seconds. Put the TV on and watch it. Did you put the TV on? Yeah. So watch that painful event. Did it come to your mind? Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
What is more prominent in this? The sounds or the images?
Images.
Okay, images, right? Now imagine that you are pressing a button that mutes the sound in the TV completely. And you imagine in your mind that the volume line is decreasing to 0. So you press the button, mute button, and decrease the volume line to 0. Now have you muted the sound? Okay. Now see the event from the beginning. Do you feel any sound? Even if there is the slightest sound, is there any sound?
No.
Okay. Now the thing which disturbs you more is the images, right? What kind of images they are? Colored?
Yeah.
Colored. Okay. Now you have the remote in your hand. Turn all the colored events into black and white. The remote is in your hand. So turn the all the images and all the colors into black and white. You are okay?
Okay, difficult slide.
You take your time, doesn't matter. Make it black and white. Now all the images are black and white?
Yeah.
Just having one.
Still take your time. Let it get into your memory and make it black and white.
Okay.
And be at ease. Now even before, the sound was never there, no? Only the images were disturbing you. Now after making it black and white, you don't see any color, or do you see color?
No.
No. So it is totally black and white. Huh. Now can you bring the scene on the TV that disturbs you more?
Yes.
Okay, then try to bring it. Huh. Mute. Now pause the scene. Huh. And imagine that rain is falling on the steel scene and washing all the outlines off. And you are pressing this remote and you are making rain come on the scene which is disturbing you, and let rain come and wash all the images away, wash all the outlines away. Keep on continuing the rain till each and every image does not get washed off completely and nothing is visible to you.
Completely blank.
Yeah, make it completely blank by washing it totally. Are you comfortable?
And also it's like come.
Yeah, it will come because this is the first time you are doing it, no? Keep on pouring the rain till it does not go. Let the rain keep on falling over that images till nothing is visible.
Really difficult. Okay, I'm trying.
Yeah, you can try. See, the intensity of that event is so much that his breathing has speeded up.
Exactly.
It happens. It happens. It happens with us all.
Everybody.
It's
Right.
very natural.
Don't worry, sir.
Ah,
It happens
yes,
to everybody.
so don't worry, sir. Now, how is it compared to what it was before?
Feeling much relaxed.
You feel relaxed, right? Now again, everything is washed off, right? Again, if you want to bring that event back on the TV screen, can you bring it? Is there sound? Is anything visible to you?
Yeah, it will come again. That same thing again it will come.
Huh. But the thing is, as this is a very painful event, you witnessed the death of your mother, I suppose?
No, some people putting pressure on me.
Acha, huh, you witnessed that. So, just because the intensity of that event is so much, he is not able to just get over it. Otherwise, for some people, it happens that in the first instance only, we are able to erase that memory. Because we get so much involved in the technique that it gets re-imprinted in the mind. Once we wash it off in the rain, it becomes very easy, right? But just because that intensity is very much in the mind of Mr. Zakir, it is happening that he is not able to get it away from his memory, right? Now again, you do one thing, that image is going on, everything, just throw the TV and let it burst and collide with the sun and burn it off with that event. After doing that, how are you feeling?
Better.
You're feeling better, right?
Can open eyes.
Yeah, you can open your eyes. You can try this event again. This same technique, if you remember the commands. The first, what we have to erase, first thing is we have to erase the vision. Because what did I say first? Imagine, right? That what you see, that event which you see in the TV. So first we have to delete the visuals. Second, we have to delete the audios. In some cases, it could be that the words are so much pricking to the person. किसी ने कुछ कहा और इतना चुप गया. इवेंट या इमेज मैटर नहीं कर रहा है. क्या मैटर कर रहा है? वो शब्द कानों में आ रहे हैं. तो शब्दों को मारना है तब. यहाँ ऐसा है कि what is not going? Image is not going. The sound is not that intense, but the images are not going. So that we can just use this technique of re-imprinting for deleting the visions or the images in our mind, for deleting the audios. For some it could even be the kinesthesia, VAK, that is visual, audio and kinesthesia, that somebody has hitten you very badly. For a child, for example, the child is not able to forget that. And on just anything, on seeing that person, that thing, that emotion, that negative emotion gets triggered. So that time the child feels anger towards that person but not able to do something because it's a child. So that also is possible. If you remember the commands, if you want, I can give you the commands and you can try this technique. It was a nice, that was a technique of re-imprinting, and you can try it again. I'll give you the commands.
No, what I feel bad, we are not interfering, we are doing our own job, but still people are
Yeah,
unnecessarily
yeah. So that is a trauma. It was a trauma for you for the last 3 years. Okay. Now that way, whatever said and done till now, the thing which we are going to discuss is motivation, right? How does motivation come?
Somebody try and help you out something.
Yeah, now you came for a particular incident, right? It's difficult to come out of it, and just because you did this technique for the first time today, the images still are there. Today you were able to wash it off once when you did it, even twice when I told you tried, but still some reminiscences of those things are there. So I suggested that you keep on doing this technique at least for a week or so. It will definitely help you. But the thing is, whatever happens around us, we have to stay motivated ourselves only. Why? Because life is given to us by God the Almighty,
Yes.
right? And it's the biggest gift to us by God. Every person who is here on the earth has his or her share of experiences. And learning begins for every person the moment we are born. The moment we enter the world, learning begins. We learn through a variety of ways since day one till the last day of our life. And every person has his or her share of experiences. It's not necessary that all the experiences would be good ones. Life is a mixture of the good and the bad. So we have a mixture of experiences. But only the thing is, whatever experiences we have, what sort of learning do we take from it, and how do we relate to those experiences? That is very important. The main thing important is how we relate to those experiences, because nobody is going to have all the good experiences, nobody is going to have all the bad experiences. It's going to be a mixture. But how are you going to relate yourself to those experiences? That is very important. Now, any experience which happens, whether it's good or a bad experience, it teaches us something or the other in life. But how we take the lesson depends on us only. And the way we take the lessons, that way we react. And if it's a negative lesson, we may react in a negative way. If it's a positive lesson, we may react in a positive way. We sometimes may even need help if we are in a negative reactive mode, right? But nobody can help us unless and until we don't tell them that I need help. So it's very necessary that you have someone in whom you can confide your joys, your sorrows, or you can have a feeling of sharing with persons or your friends, family, brother, sister, whatever. Now there are experiences like molestation, cancer diagnosis, or when you are a witness to someone's hurt or pain. These experiences, they are very shattering for any person. Molestation also shatters a person. When a person comes to know that I am having cancer, the word cancer itself cancels the person, right? So that way you have to be motivated through your own self. Self-motivation is the best thing which you can do. During all these incidences, if proper emotional support is not provided to the person who is in trauma, then the event may get into the nervous system of that person. And when it gets into the nervous system of that person, sometimes it leads to relationship problems. The person can never have good relations. if it's that person is in a very negative reactive mode. Then it could even be the person resorts to all sorts of addictions like alcohol, drugs, smoking and all this. And sometimes it even is long lasting distress. Long lasting distress could be in the form of PTSD, severe PTSD symptoms could be there. But there is also a positive angle in this situation, and the positive angle is that it has been known through a research that people show psychological growth and positive psychological behavior due to high stress incidences in their life. Why it is so? Because people resort to various means, like people go for meditations, people go for therapies. Some even now, formerly NLP was not that prevalent, right? Today wherever you go you will be hearing about NLP. There are many books on NLP and everything. So the therapy, the spirituality or whatever spiritual work you do, all this helps a lot.
Satsangs.
Yeah, satsangs and all. But that doesn't mean that the negative emotions are not there. They are there along with the positive ones. But now what happens? You have gained the motivation and the strength to live with those emotions. Because for a human being it's very natural to be negative at times.
Yes.
Right? For example, I being a mother, my son doesn't come on time, on his routine time at 8:15 after his tuition. The first negative thing which comes to my mind is what must have happened. It's very natural. So for a parent it is very natural. But then when you resort to spirituality, when you go for such meditation things, then all these things help you a lot. So the emotions are there, but then you know how to control them. The negativity is there, but you know how to stop yourself. You know how to divert yourself. So that way it helps you. Now, how can one grow after trauma? The first factor to grow is your family and friends who can help you in growing after trauma. Because social support and relationships with others, they are the key predictors of a speedy psychological recovery. People who want or who suffer from psychological issues, to have a speedy recovery, it's very necessary that they get the support and strength from their family and their friends. Then in these times we gain a new appreciation of our relationships, because till now when the person was in a negative state, the person always felt that my family doesn't understand me, my friends don't support me, and all these things were there. But now after realization, means after during the recovery period, the person has understood through their love and support that no, they are there for me, they care for me, and so he or she finds a new appreciation towards those relationships, and even learns that it's right to trust others, to listen, care and help. So he trusts others so that that person listens to the feelings of that traumatic person who is in trauma. The person shows care, the person even tries to help. These relationships, they develop very strongly. The bonds are strengthened during the recovery period. When the person is getting recovered, whenever the person is in the hands of the family and friends, the recovery gets very speedy. In some cases, if the family and friends are unsupportive, it could have adverse effects on the person. The person may feel more lonely and unworthy of love. So that could deteriorate the condition more. In some cases it happens. But even then, if the person is that much positive that if the family doesn't provide support, then the person could even have new healthier relationships, either in the therapy classes or the spiritual classes, things which he or she is doing, or the groups. People join many groups later, the support groups, like they go to some clubs, laughing clubs are there. Then there are some meditation groups also. So they go there and get support of those groups, and they feel that these people can be trusted even though I don't have the trust or love of my family or my friends. So new relationships develop, and they are also aiding in the recovery of the person. Second is creating new possibilities. How can new possibilities be created?
Have a new circle of that.
Yeah, you can have a new circle, right?
The world is so large.
Yeah, the world is very large, and even with the world being large, there are a large and umpteen number of possibilities for any person to survive, right? So you have to create new possibilities. You have to get involved in new activities, new lifestyles, if necessary new relationships, if somebody has a divorce or some one of the partner is dead. So that way also, so if you are of that, you are at a young age, you can even think of remarrying if possible. So that way many things can be done to make life more meaningful, rich and satisfying. Then there are people who even choose to volunteer or advocate for change. For example, a rape victim would volunteer for rape crisis organization. A person who was totally so much involved in drugs would get involved with a rehab center
Yes, also.
and try, yes, and would try to,
all of them are ex-alcoholics.
yeah,
That's the key.
yeah, they try to volunteer and they try to serve and give something back to the society. So that also is very much possible. Then people may even resort to writing down the experiences. There are people who take writing and write down the experiences, or some express themselves through creative arts. Creative arts like painting, music, dancing, all these things also can be done, and that way new possibilities can be created.
Exercise is a very, very good thing.
Yes.
Which is not mentioned here.
Yeah. Such activities, they help you to open up new vistas and even enhance your skills, so that way you become more stronger, more whole, and you find a new meaning in life. You feel that the life has begun in a meaningful way, and the pain which you had, you are able to channel it in a positive route by your creativity. So you are able to channel the pain through a mode of creativity and expressing yourself. Either it could be through your paintings, either it could be through your writing skill or whatever. So that way you are able to channel your pain into meaningful creative work also. Third is your personal strength, the most important factor. Why? Because during trauma the person loses the self-esteem. Self-confidence is lost, self-esteem is lost, and because of that the person who survives may feel that I did something wrong, or maybe I am a victim. So that way the self-esteem also is shattered. If the trauma is for in children, then children very naturally blame themselves for the parents' neglect or mistreatment. But the adults, they get stuck in this perspective. They don't know what to do. Then it is very essential for the person to realize that he or she is not responsible for this victimization, and this all is a necessary part of the healing which is going on, and it is very necessary. Rather than getting into the feeling, the person has to try to come out of that victimization feelings. Now whenever a person is in danger, for example a child, you never teach the child. In our Indian families, we have never taught the child what to do when you are in danger. So when such a situation comes, for example when a small child is raped, the child doesn't know what to do, right? Because our Indian society never teaches all these things. So that time the child did not know what to do, so the response which it gave became totally negative out of fear, anger, and out of a sort of thing that what is happening to me, not able to decipher what is going around. But after the trauma, the child or the person realizes that how strong we are or what sort of bearing capacity we have. Otherwise it's very difficult. A small child, if she is raped, and to come out of that incident, but the coming out of that incident itself shows that that particular child has strong bearing capacity. So that way we can understand that how strong the person is, and the person has great bearing capacity. Then the persons in trauma, sometimes they even get motivated by their personal goals. Why? because they are able to tolerate the difficult memories. They try to make new personal goals, strive to achieve those goals and put their life on a meaningful track, and they want to go in a way that they are in connect with the meaningful flow of life. So they want to go in a meaningful way and live life in a way that they are able to achieve their personal goals also, and channel their pain through this completion of the goals. So that way also personal strength is important. Then spiritual change. Spirituality helps a lot because it's a change agent which gives a new direction to your life. Many people resort to spirituality. Spirituality is very much helpful in giving up vices like drugs, alcohol, and opting for a healthy lifestyle. So that way also spirituality helps. Whenever a person is in trauma, during the recovery period, the person realizes, ponders things, and thus prays more, goes nearer to God, and realizes that every person has its own has his or her own limits, and the most powerful person in the world is only God the Almighty. So that realization also dawns upon the person after the traumatic incident or during that incident, and the faith in God is deepened, and the person becomes more prayerful and keeps on doing work of his spiritual things, whatever he or she wants to do. In a study on bereaved mothers by researcher Daniel McIntosh, it was found out that religion speeded the recovery by helping people to find meaning and by connecting them to a supportive and engaged society. So every religion helps you a lot. It helps you to connect and find a meaning to life. Prayer and meditation also are helpful in finding a new perspective on life, and it helps you to accept the present and be hopeful for the future ahead. So prayer is also essential, meditation also helps a lot. Then appreciation of life is also developed. People develop a greater sense of appreciation of life after trauma. Why? Because they learn to connect with the simple joys of life. Like people go for nature walks, people spend time with the family and friends after the trauma. They even go to clubs, parks and all that. So different things, different activities are carried out by persons who want to do. Sometimes it is possible that a person may even achieve parenthood. For example, a girl has lost her father, right? And now immediately after, within a year or so, she is to get married. So after she gets married, till that she is so much in that grief of her father. But after she gets married with the new relationships, she learns to move ahead in life. She learns to move forward in life. And it could be possible if she becomes a mother, parenthood also gives her a different direction to life, and she finds new aspirations and opportunities to live life, and that too living life differently by raising the kid in a very positive way. Then sometimes for others the realization itself that we have just been saved by death, either physical death or spiritual death. Physical death means you can understand. Spiritual death means when you have lost everything within you. When you are losing your own ethics, when you don't follow anything, when you don't pray, so that is your spiritual death. So person realizes that, and slowly and gradually these things make him full with gratitude that I have been saved, and now henceforth I should live a meaningful life. And survival in the trauma itself is a second chance for the person to refurnish the life and implement from whatever lessons the person has learned. So that way even a new appreciation of life is learned by the person, and survival itself has made the person in a way that no, I have been given this life for a second time, so now it's my second chance to do the best for my life. These are a few things which I have listed, that how to grow during adverse events. So the first thing is that persons who have experienced a difficult childhood or a traumatic event, what they can do is you list out your personal qualities that you demonstrated to survive from those events, right? So every person has a list of personal qualities which a person uses during a particular event. So then you can know that which are my personal qualities. Then even though there were mistakes made on your part or things which you regret, remember that you did what you had to do to survive at that point of time, and you should be proud of it. At that particular time it was necessary to do it and you did it. So now there is no thing in no issue or no point in grieving over it. Moving forward, moving by knowing your personal qualities is the thing which you can do and go on. Second thing is you can list out the things which make your life meaningful now. The life which you found without meaning, now after recovery you find it meaningful. So find out what do you have now in life which makes it meaningful. It could be your relations or your new job or your faith or anything which you are doing. Either it could be looking after your family or doing some things with your friends. So find out those things which give you joy. Find out happiness in everyday events of the life which you are having now after the trauma or after the recovery of the trauma. Third is list out the lessons which you learn. There are many lessons which we learn, right? So list out those lessons which you learn from the difficulties which you have borne at that time, which you have undergone at that time. Then try to find out this knowledge from these lessons which you have learned, how it can be helpful to others and how you can do something for your own personal good or for the societal good or for the good of the society. So that way that also can be done. And last is remember that hope and growth live together with grief. There will always be ups and downs in life. You have to learn to anticipate and manage them. Last but not the least, be gentle with yourself in times when it is difficult to see the positive.
Absolutely.
We need to be very gentle with ourselves because we, on a personal level also, we become very harsh with ourselves. We are gentle towards others but harsh towards ourselves. So we need to be very gentle in life. That too, when we cannot find anything beyond our thinking or we cannot see anything, we don't have any clue of what is going on. At that time it's very necessary that we be more gentle with ourselves. Self-love is an integral part of mental health. So love yourself daily, love yourself every minute, every second, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. Love yourself. The more you love yourself,
Unless you love yourself, you cannot love anybody else.
yes, unless you don't love yourself, you are not capable of loving anyone else. 5 things to remind yourself daily. I am amazing. I can do anything. Positivity is a choice, or you can say positivity is my choice. I celebrate my individuality and I am prepared to succeed. Right? So remember this if you want to.
Not prepared, I'm born to succeed.
Yes, I am born to succeed. Yes, I'll change it accordingly.
I say in different manner. I'm young, I'm bold, I'm strong, I'm peaceful, I'm happy.
Yeah. There's a video which I want to show. Okay?
Valenco Essentials. Rentals starting rupees 499.
दोस्तों इस स्टोरी को एंड तक सुनिए ताकि आपको पूरी तरह से समझ में आए कि अपने माइंड को पॉजिटिव रखने से पहले हमें क्या करना चाहिए। एक राजा था जिसके 4 घोड़े थे जो बिल्कुल ही अनट्रेन्ड घोड़े थे। इन घोड़ों को कोई भी ट्रेन नहीं कर पाया।
How to raise the volume?
जो भी इन घोड़ों को ट्रेन कर सकेगा उन्हें एक बहुत बड़ा इनाम मिलेगा। लेकिन जैसे ही कोई भी घोड़े को हाथ लगाता, घोड़ा उसे खींचकर फेंक देता। बहुत लोगों ने कोशिश की और कई लोगों की इंजरी आई, लेकिन एक जवान आदमी आया